All right. Well, I'm going to give everybody a warning. Well, at least I'm going to give the Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn fans a warning. You may not like this video. So if you're going to come on here and you're going to start crying about me being negative and me not wanting to fight and all this stupid BS, then you might as well just click the X in the right hand corner and don't even bother to watch the video because I don't want to hear you crying and you're whining and you're complaining about being told something that you don't want to hear because you want to live in a land of cognitive dissonance. You want to keep believing pretty lies and you don't want to deal with ugly truths. So if that's the type of information you want, just click the X because I don't have time for you today. So let's get right to it. Big news yesterday. Frank Warren came out and said this on an interview. Stated that Tyson Fury won't sign his sight deal contract for the Anthony Joshua fight until the money is guaranteed by a bank. He explained lawyers are working to resolve this, but Arent is discussing a July USA fight as a backup. And this was told to Seconds Out. He was being interviewed by Seconds Out. So we keep being told by Eddie Hearn it's going to be announced this week. It's going to be announced this week. It's going to be announced this week. And Eddie Hearn went as far as to throw out, I think, 2 July dates. Today he mentioned it, August 7th or August 14th, throughout 2 fight dates. But again, we keep being told by Eddie Hearn that there's just minor details. So let me ask you guys this. Does not being able to provide the money for the fight, is that a minor detail? Are we just supposed to already just assume that Saudi has this money just because they say they do if they can't provide proof of funds? Isn't this ironic how back in 2018, I believe, when Deontay Wilder's team made an offer of $50 million for Joshua, was offering him a $50 million guarantee, and then Eddie Hearn asked for proof of funds. And I'm not sure if it was provided or not. I'm not going to say it was or it wasn't. I don't know. I'm not going to talk about things I don't know about. But I know that was a big issue for Eddie Hearn when that $50 million offer was brought up. So it's so ironic that now when someone else is asking for proof of funds, seems to be an issue right now. And you could say all you want, well, they did the Ruiz deal, everything went fine with that. But here's the thing, guys. We're talking about a substantially larger amount of money than we did and we were talking about when it comes to that Ruiz deal. Saudi Arabia already has a shady past. The whole Middle East area has a shady past. I'm Middle Eastern. I'm Lebanese. I'm from the area, so I'm not. Don't say I'm being xenophobic here because I am Middle Eastern. So I know my own people. All right, and Middle Eastern people aren't saints. They're everyone can't just be trusted. I mean, someone asks for proof of funds, it should be provided to them. Okay, you can't just sit there and say, "Oh, well, what about the Ruiz fight?" Well, the same thing was being mentioned. What about the Mayweather fight with Pacquiao? What about the Mayweather fight with McGregor? What about the Mayweather fight with De La Hoya? What about the Mayweather fight with Canelo Alvarez? Floyd Mayweather, who obviously is linked to Al Haymon, who is the same manager of Deontay Wilder, has orchestrated the 4 largest fights in the history of the sport, in the history of all combat sports, not just boxing. And then when that was brought up, when people were asking for the $50 million for the proof of funds for Eddie Hearn, no one wanted to hear that. No one wanted to hear that. So now these same hypocritical people are saying, well, if they were able to do the Ruiz fight, why can't they do this fight? Well, Al Haymon was able to do Mayweather McGregor, Mayweather Alvarez, Mayweather De La Hoya. Why couldn't he do Joshua Wilder, which was a significantly smaller fight than those 4 aforementioned fights that I just talked about? So let's not be hypocritical here, guys. All you guys were sitting there saying, well, why should Joshua accept the fight if they can't provide proof of funds? Well, why should Fury accept the fight if they can't provide proof of funds? Okay? Like I said, Saudi Arabia has a checkered past. Everyone's talking about, oh, well, WWE has events there all the time. Well, WWE was reportedly in a lawsuit with them because they were claiming that they weren't paid all the money owed to them. And they've been having issues with their deal with Saudi. There was reports of WWE wrestlers not being allowed out of the country, and it was like being held hostage. You can go on the internet and read all this stuff. So to look at one fight that they pulled off and forget about all of the other fights that have fallen through broken promises in that part of the world, and we're not even going to get into the human rights issue. That's another story, and that's another story for another video. But again, automatically, we're just supposed to trust Saudi Arabia. Tyson Fury's just supposed to trust Saudi Arabia. Well, why didn't Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn trust Al Haymon and Team Wilder? So this is hypocrisy. And then you're hearing people say, well, I thought Tyson Fury is fighting for legacy. He's not fighting for the money. Well, I thought Billy Joe Saunders would have to be carried out of the ring with 2 broken eye sockets and a broken nose and a mushed up brain. Are we supposed to hang on every word these guys say and take it as gospel? Does anyone actually really think that guys are going to go in a ring and get punched in the face and put their lives on the line and enter a ring knowing that they may not leave that ring the same way they went in? They may not leave that ring without having their faculties intact, and they're going to go in there and do that for free? All you YouTube uploaders, if that's the case, then give all your AdSense money back. Give all your super chats back. I thought you loved the sport of boxing. Well, then why are you getting paid to talk about it? Why are you collecting AdSense money? Why are you collecting super chats? Let's not be hypocritical here. No one woke up this morning and went into work with the intention of it being volunteer work. Everyone wants money. Everyone fights for money. Let's stop with the BS. Let's stop hanging on every word these guys say. Let's just stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. Shout out to you there, Fight Doctor, as well. Shout out to Dan the Man. Let's just stop the BS, okay? Let's stop with the hypocrisy. Let's stop with the, oh, this guy just doesn't want the fight BS. No, he wants the fight, and he wants to get paid for the fight, okay? And if they don't provide proof of funds, and if there's issues with the funds, then I'm sorry, Mr. Eddie Hearn, that's more than a little bit of fine details. Oh, well, they fulfilled all their promises in the Ruiz fight. Okay, once again, this is a whole nother ball of wax. This fight is almost 3 times the size of that fight financially. Okay? This is a much, much bigger event, a much, much more complex situation now with COVID, as I said. All right? Still so many unknowns in that part of the world in terms of COVID, how things are going on with that. And now they can't even provide proof of funds, or they haven't provided proof of funds as of yet. Now we keep hearing that, oh, just a few minor details. If it's a few minor details, then why has it taken 4 months to get this thing finalized? And it can't all be Tyson Fury's fault. I'm sure Anthony Joshua is having questions about the contract as well, too. I'm sure he wants things in his favor, too. Only one guy's talking about it, though. And the other guy historically just doesn't talk. He lets Eddie Hearn do the talking for him. He doesn't do a lot of talking. So that's the difference. So don't be a hypocrite. If Anthony Joshua needed proof of funds to fight Wilder, then Tyson Fury needs proof of funds to fight Joshua. Simple and fucking plain. All right? He wants to be paid what he's owed for accepting the fight. That's what he wants. That's what he wants. No, I have not heard what Deontay Wilder said about July. Please fill me in, young Murph. I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear it. All these fighters fight for money, and we already know that. So let's stop with the I thought Tyson. Well, I thought Anthony Joshua was fighting for legacy. Why did he need proof of funds? Why did he need to know that he was going to get the $50 million? Why didn't he trust Team Wilder and Al Haymon? You can't be a hypocrite, guys. Okay, you can't be a hypocrite. You can't have it both ways. Can't have it both ways. And then you sit there and say, well, how is Joshua supposed to know, well, if the proof of funds can be provided? How's he supposed to know? Again, I have never heard anyone ever sue Al Haymon or PBC for not getting paid. I never heard Mayweather say that I never got what I was supposed to get when he fought Pacquiao. Okay? When he fought McGregor, or when he fought Alvarez, or when he fought De La Hoya. I never heard Mayweather ever complain that he didn't get the money he was supposed to get. But we have heard a lot of these deals in the Middle East and Saudi Arabia fall through. Okay, just because they had a few events over there, Amir Khan had a fight over there against Billy Dib, a little small event. You had this Joshua Ruiz 2 event over there. Still wasn't that event wasn't even as big as Fury Wilder 2. It didn't even generated less than half the money that Fury Wilder 2 generated. This is a big fight, guys. This is a big fight. This isn't the same fight. This isn't like Ruiz Joshua 2. It's not the same situation. There was no COVID back then, and that fight was a much smaller fight than this fight is. And again, Saudi Arabia and the Middle East do not have a consistent track record when it comes to keeping their word, providing funds when they say they're going to provide them. Many times they make these offers, and then when they're asked to put up the money, they don't. Okay? You may have had one good situation with them or one good incident with them, but again, they've shown to be inconsistent. They've shown to be inconsistent. So to just sit there and think that automatically everything's gravy, few minor details, no. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Even Anthony Joshua is getting frustrated now. Even he's getting pissed, right? He's complaining. He's being aggravated. He's aggravated right now. All right? And if Eddie Hearn's feeding him a line of BS and he's believing it, that's fine. But again, Tyson Fury is not represented by Eddie Hearn. He's represented by Bob Arum and Frank Warren. And if Frank Warren and Bob Arum and Tyson Fury's lawyers are asking for certain information that they should be asking for, that they should be entitled to, that they should get when they ask for it, and they're not being provided proof of funds, then that's a big deal, guys. That is a big deal, guys. All right? It's a big deal. I'm standing by my statements. This fight is not happening this year. First it was June, July. Now it's August. Then it's going to be September. Okay? Stop. Stop with the wishful thinking. Stop with all the hope and dreams. And stop with this ridiculous notion that fighters don't want to get paid for going in the ring and getting punched in the face. No one's going to go in the ring and get punched in the face fucking hundreds of times in 36 minutes and not expect to get paid. You wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. So don't expect these guys to do it. All right? No one here in this chat watching this video wakes up in the morning and goes into a job and does it for free. None of us do it. And if you have a problem with Tyson Fury wanting to get paid to fight Anthony Joshua, then, like I said, give your AdSense money away. Donate your salary to charity. Because money, if money's not important, then give yours away then. Give yours away too. If you want someone else to do a job that's 1,000 times harder than what you're doing, and you want him to do it for free, then you work for free. Don't be a hypocrite. Give your money back. When you tell people don't give you super chats anymore when you're making videos, give it all back. Give it all back. Do it for free. Because the money's not important. Feed your kids. Pay your mortgage with legacy. Go to the bank and say, hey, I want to buy this house. Where's the down payment? All right, I'll give you a down payment of legacy. Here's my down payment. I'm giving you my legacy. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. With that fucking bullshit. Enough. Enough with the stupidity. Enough with the stupidity. Let's be fucking real now. Let's not be idiots. Expecting someone to get in the ring and fight for free. Fight for what? Fight for an amount that's not satisfactory for a fight of this magnitude. All right. Then go into your boss tomorrow, walk in the office and say, you know what? I'm not really here for the money. I'm not really here for the money. You know, you gave me a raise last year. You gave me a raise last year. You know what? Why don't you take it back? Because I'm not here for the money. I'm here because I want to help you. I want to help the company. I want to make myself the best whatever I am, whatever you do for a living. It's not about me getting paid. Live by the standards that you set for others. Oh, well, they already have enough money. No. How the fuck do you know anyone's financial situation? Thank you so much, Donkey Boxing. I appreciate that. Oh, well, they got enough money. How the fuck do you know they got enough money? How do you know what their financial situation is? Oh, well, they buy all this, that. Okay, well, so if you had money like that, would you not buy the houses they have and the cars they have? Telling someone how they're supposed to live their life, how much money they're supposed to make. Who the fuck are you? What gives you the right to tell someone how much they should be making for what they're doing? Does anyone tell you what you're supposed to make? Do I go look at your tax return and tell you, hey, you're making too much money for what you do? You need to give some of that shit back. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Get out of here. Tired of it. Tired of people counting other motherfuckers' pockets. Tired of it. Bunch of jealous, hateful motherfuckers. Jealous, hateful motherfuckers. Oh, I thought he fought for legacy. What do you do? Do you work for legacy? Do you live for your legacy? Is legacy paying your bills and feeding your children? When you get sick and you got to go to the doctors, is legacy paying for your medical bills? Is legacy paying for your health insurance? That's going to be the new thing now, man. Legacy is going to be the new currency. Fuck gold. Fuck British pounds. Fuck dollars. We'll stop paying everyone with legacy now. That's the new thing. We'll just stop paying people with legacy. Hey, man, here's a piece of legacy. I want to buy that car. I want to buy that car. Here's my down payment of legacy. So I just don't want to hear it, man. Don't want to hear it. Don't want to fucking hear all the bullshit. It's just stupid. There's more than meets the eye here in this situation. There's more than meets the eye here in this situation. It's quite clear that there are issues going on. And if they are so minor, then why in the fuck is it taking so long to get this fucking fight over the line? Why? Has Anthony Joshua signed his portion of the contract yet? We're not hearing that he has. So if he hasn't signed his portion of the contract yet, if he hasn't signed his contract yet, and Tyson Fury hasn't signed his contract yet, then why are they throwing dates around? Once again, talking too much. Getting people's hopes up high. It's not Fury mind games. If the money has not been provided, if there are no assurances that Saudi Arabia actually has the money to put up for this fight that they say they do, it's not mind games. It's common sense to ask them for proof of funds. Everybody involved is annoyed. Bob Arum's annoyed. Frank Warren's annoyed. Tyson Fury's annoyed. Anthony Joshua is annoyed. Nobody is happy having to wait 4 months for this fight. Not the fans, not the participants, not the managers, not the trainers, not the promoters. Nobody. Nobody is happy. Nobody. So let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. I mean, what else is there to say? What else is there to say? So let's look at this Sky Sports article. Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury set to be staged in Saudi Arabia on August 7th or August 14th. That's the thing. Let's see. So AJ is like saying, come on, let's talk more action. Let's get this done. There's no reason why it shouldn't happen this week. Promoter Eddie Hearn expects Joshua Fury announcement in the next days. So now Joshua's starting to get pissed off. He's aggravated with all the waiting. August 7th, August 14th, Hearn told Sky Sports about a potential date. Potential date. I think it's a very bad secret that the fight is happening in Saudi Arabia. To be honest with you, I don't mind giving you that information. Bob Arum has already done it. Well, you have too. It's the same people that we did a deal with Anthony Ruiz. That event was spectacular. As partners, they were fantastic as well. We're comfortable. Anthony is very comfortable. He knows those people. They've delivered on every one of their promises last time. We're ready to go. Once again, different situation. Smaller fight. No COVID. That's going to be the date. Of course, we got to get the Olympics finishing on August 7th. So in terms of a global spectacle, it would make more sense to go on August 14th. Then why did you even throw the August 7th date out there if you knew you weren't going to go on that date? Again, more bullshit. That's one of the things that we need to tick off. Hopefully, he says. Once again, look at these key words. Potential. Hopefully, within the next few days, which he's been saying for the last 4 months. Okay? Saw the tweets from AJ. He's tired. The fans are tired. Everyone is tired. We're in a stage where people are getting frustrated. The deal is done. No, it's not done. Contracts have not been signed yet. Stop talking. Stop saying things that aren't true. Learn your lesson. This is why you keep getting stick from everybody. Potentially hopeful. So let me go to a bank and say, hey, I want to buy this house, and I will potentially give you the down payment. I am hopefully going to make my mortgage payments every month. Can't get away with that, guys. Your boss tells you, hopefully I'll be able to pay you every week. You're not going to be happy with that, guys. Apply the same standards to yourself that you apply to others. Let's not be hypocrites. Now we're on the final details of the contract, which came back last Friday. Again, these contracts keep coming back every weekend. It went back last night. They are on calls now in the office about it. And I think, not that I know, I think, another operative word, I think at some point people are going to have to take a little bit of a leap of faith. People are going to have to take a leap of faith in this deal. What does that translate into? Hey, just believe them when they tell you they're going to pay you what they tell you they're going to pay you. Don't ask for proof. Don't get a letter of credit from a bank binding them to pay you. No, that's not needed. That's not needed. It's like when you sign up for a credit card and you finish the application and you sign it saying you agree to the terms that you will pay the minimum payment or whatever you owe every month. Once you sign that, you are bound. There's no leap of faith there that you're going to pay your credit card bill. You either pay it or you don't. So people like Tyson Fury are supposed to just take a leap of faith in the hopes that they're going to get paid what they were promised. Again, get the fuck out of here. None of you would accept that in your life. If you were dealing with somebody on a financial level, none of you would accept that. None of you. So stop asking others to, and stop holding others to a standard you would not live by. You fucking phony fucking hypocrites. All of you. I take that back. The myopic ones out there, the cognitive dissonance sufferers out there, I meant to say. Not all of you. I don't want to put everyone and paint everyone with a broad brush. I'm sure there's other people who are using logic in regards to this situation, and they're not looking at things like with hope. I think at some point people are going to have to take a little bit of leap of faith in this deal. Really? From our perspective and AJ's perspective, we're ready to go. From Tyson Fury's perspective, they got a couple of lawyers across it from their point. So basically, Tyson Fury's lawyers are asking for proof of funds. That's what they're asking for. There's no reason why it shouldn't happen this week. This is kind of like the moment where you could actually turn around at this point and say, this is dragging on too long, or I can't be dealing with this anymore. So even he knows the clock is ticking, and even he's not 100% confident now. Now he's saying the clock is running out. Now he's saying the clock is running out. But we have to nail this, and I'm not going to stop until I nail it, and everyone has just got to move forward collectively. Let's just move forward collectively without proof of funds, without assurances that we're going to get our money. That's fine. No other fight and no other deal that is of this magnitude would ever take place if there weren't assurances, letters of credit, proof of funds, some type of information that everyone's going to get paid. It would never, no deal gets done without that information, guys. It's just a fact. Never, ever. How do you know, Beeb? I know for a fact. I know for a fact that a deal this size never gets done. I know it. know it for a fact. And I'm not going to tell you how I know it for a fact, but I do know it for a fact. I do know it for a fact. But we have to nail this, and I'm not going to stop until I nail it. Everyone's got to move forward collectively. We're ready to go from our side. We're not far away from their side, and it's inevitable. But at the same time, we've got to close the door on it. Okay? Then it goes on to say, Fury's UK promoter Frank Warren has suggested that a deal will not be signed until he's guaranteed the fight purse. But Hearn is comfortable about the funds available after staging Joshua's rematch win over Andy Ruiz Jr. in Saudi Arabia. I wasn't just intending to take a punt on it, said Hearn. It's a lot of money. So Hearn is being a hypocrite here. So he wanted proof of funds from Al Haymon, who has a track record of putting on or being involved in the four largest fights in the history of combat sports. He wouldn't take that guy's word for it, but automatically he's taking the word of the Saudi Arabia, the government, which, like I said, has a shady past. So this is hypocrisy at its highest level here. If this is not fucking hypocrisy, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. All right? I don't know what is. How come Tyson Fury, when he fought Deontay Wilder, how come he never complained about proof of funds in those two fights? How come he got paid with no problem in those two fights? All of a sudden, Al Haymon is being called into question, a man who's been in a part. And I'm not a PBC fanboy. I have a lot of criticism about PBC. I actually think the Zone is kicking the shit out of PBC right now, in my opinion. Just look at that event last week with Canelo Alvarez. That speaks for itself. So I am by far a PBC fanboy, but I cannot ignore and disregard factual data and history. Pacquiao Mayweather, $600 million fight. Okay? McGregor Mayweather, $580 million fight. Okay? Alvarez Mayweather, $250 million fight. Right? De La Hoya Mayweather, which was in 2007, $180 million fight, $200 million fight. Right? So you didn't believe a guy that had that track record, but you're going to believe someone who the biggest event they put on, allegedly, this is allegedly, supposedly that deal with that Ruiz deal with Joshua, second fight there in Saudi, was a $60 million deal. And that's all so you had that one, that now you're dealing with Saudi in a fight that's allegedly 3 times the size of that, right? Maybe more. And now just because they were able to put that smaller event on, you believe that they're going to be able to follow through. Now, Al Haymon, the deal with Al Haymon would have been, Al Haymon and Team Wilder was a $50 million deal. That was a $50 million deal. But you didn't trust Al Haymon after Al Haymon was part of a $600 million fight, $580 million fight, $250 million fight, another $200 million fight. This guy's, the 4 fights that Al Haymon was involved in generated over $1 billion, $1.5 billion, roughly. And you didn't have confidence that a man with that was involved in fights that totaled $1.5 billion. You didn't have faith that team could not provide $50 million. But now you're in a situation where you're dealing with someone who allegedly put up $60 million for one of your events. And now we're looking at a deal that's close to 3 times that, right? Close to 3 times that, but automatically you have faith in them when they've never proved that they could ever put on an event of this magnitude while Al Haymon has. And you didn't trust Al Haymon, but you're trusting the Saudis. If this is not hypocrisy at its highest level, I don't know what is, guys. I'm being objective. I like Eddie Hearn. I like what he's done with the zone. I like these cards. I've enjoyed these cards. But when it comes to certain situations, I can't fucking ride with Eddie Hearn all the time. Can't be like you guys. Give him your blind allegiance. In Eddie we trust, no matter what he says. He could tell you the sky is fucking purple. You're gonna believe him. I'm not that guy. I don't trust anybody. I don't trust anybody. I don't give my allegiance to anybody. You got to show me. Nothing I do in life, I operate on a leap of faith. These words, I'm going to go into a business agreement with somebody, and they're using words of leap of faith, potentially, hopefully, ideally. Once someone starts using words like that when I'm doing business with them, guess what? I'm out of there in turbo. I'm out the back motherfucking door. I'm not fucking with that person. I'm not fucking with that person. I go on a job interview. Hopefully we can pay you $85,000 a year. Hopefully. That's what we're hoping. Well, what's my salary going to be? Well, hopefully, we can pay you $85,000 a year. Yeah, but what's my salary going to be? We'll come back next week and we'll work it out. We'll talk about it. Then I go back next week. We'll come back next week. Like, none of you would operate like that in your everyday lives. None of you. But yet you're expecting these fighters to. You're expecting these fighters to. Oh, my word is good. If everyone's word is good, and everyone operated on a leap of faith, right? Then what would be the sense of contracts? What would be the sense of contracts? You could just go into friggin' T-Mobile. Say, hey man, lease me this phone. $40 a month? I don't really need to sign this. I mean, my word's good, right? You believe I'm going to give you the $40 every month for this phone? You believe me, right? Oh, you walk into a friggin' Toyota dealership. You want to buy that Camry for friggin' $30,000. Okay, sir. Why don't you sign? Oh, why do I have to sign that? Why do I have to sign the paperwork? Why? You don't believe me that I'm going to pay you? I want all you motherfuckers to operate like you're asking Tyson Fury to operate. Thank you, Cali King says, hit him with the facts. Thank you so much, brother. I just want all you guys to operate that same way. That's what I want. That's what I want. Fucking hypocrites. That's all it is. That's all it is. Beep, why are you yelling? Why are you getting all aggravated? You know why? I just got to be honest. There's a couple things in this world that really irritate me. I mean, we all contradict ourselves from time to time. Okay? We all contradict ourselves from time to time. But there's levels of contradiction. You know what I mean? There's levels of contradiction. There's levels of misinformation. Like little white lies, big lies, little exaggerations, big exaggerations. There's levels of this shit. And when you see something being done over and over and over and over and over and over again, and just people just accept it when it's coming from one side, but then when it's coming from another side, they don't accept it. I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, it's irritating. Now, am I going to lose sleep over it? Am I going to have to go on psych meds because I can't? No. I mean, but when I talk about it, I get aggravated. I'm not going to lie. It's frustrating to listen to some of you guys sometimes. It really is. I'm not going to lie. To some of you guys, like, irritate me when I listen to you talk? Yeah, you do. I'll be honest. I'll be honest. You're irritating. I like. It's like I could pick this thing up and tell you this is red, and I show it to you, and I have proof that it's fucking red, and you sit there and tell me it's not red. It's not red. It's not red. It's rose. It's rose colored. Like you're gonna just do anything you can to disagree with me, and I'm gonna show you something like, hey, this phone is black. No, it's not really black, man. That's not black. That's charcoal. That's not black. That's charcoal. Like you guys just don't want to like look at the facts. You just don't want to look at the facts. It's horrible. So yeah, you guys irritate me. You do. You fucking irritate me. You irritate me. You really do. I just can't believe grown men in their 40s, late 30s, 40s, 50s. They say things like, have faith. Oh, just believe. Like, come on, man. Still believe? Like, do you guys still believe in Santa Claus, man? Still believe in Santa Claus? I don't know, man. I want to see you guys check out at the supermarket, and when the little girl behind the counter tells you, "Hey, man, that'll be 25, that'll be 25.58, sir. That'll be 25.58." And then you open up your wallet and you go like this. There's no money in here. I don't have any money, but guess what? Let me sprinkle a little bit of hope over there for you. Let me sprinkle a little bit of faith. Let me sprinkle a little bit of that stuff. You know? That should be enough to pay for these groceries. Guys don't operate like that. So stop acting like everyone else should. The perception that these guys don't need money, like that they already made enough. No one fights for money. Like this whole let's fight for legacy shit. Come on, man. If you're gonna sit there and hang on every word every fighter says, right, and you're gonna believe, knowing the history of the sport, knowing fighters say things all the time, all right, that is just BS. You know, fighters talk out of their, talk a lot of BS. They don't mean everything they say. It's just trash talk a lot of times. You're going to sit there and hang on every single word a fighter says. Oh, I don't fight. I don't care about the money. Listen, if nobody cared about the money, then they wouldn't be taking the check. They wouldn't be taking the check. So fucking stop. Just stop with the BS. Stop. That's it. All right, guys. I really can't say much more on this topic. I can't say much more on this topic, man. That's all I got. That's all I got, man. You know, it's funny because when a fighter says what you want them, like when you like what a fighter says, and it fits your narrative, that automatically you're gonna be like, okay, yeah, I can ride. I'm gonna believe what that guy says. Or if he says something that, like Tyson Fury says, I fight for legacy, and then you hear him talk about money, then you're gonna go, oh well, I thought he fought for legacy. So when Anthony Joshua told you the same thing back in 2018, that all he wants to do is unify and all he wants to do is fight for legacy, but yet his team asked for proof of funds for the $50 million, then why didn't you use that same logic towards Anthony Joshua, that same way of thinking towards Anthony Joshua that you're using to Tyson Fury right now? You didn't do that. You didn't do that. You didn't do that. You didn't stay consistent. So you know what this shows me? That you're tribal. That you took a side. You're going to ride that side. and no matter what happens, you're going to continue to ride that side. That's it. That's what you're going to do. I am the biggest Tyson Fury fan. He's my favorite fighter. But every time that he's done something that I thought wasn't the right thing to do or was questionable, I didn't defend him on it. He failed the PED test. Okay? Blamed it on boar meat. I didn't believe him. I just didn't believe him. Okay? When he was away from the sport for 3 years and he retired. And then he comes back and says, well, I'm lineal champion, while everyone else was fighting for his vacant belts. I didn't ride with him on that one. If he wants to call himself lineal champion, that's fine. But to me, I just didn't think he was the lineal champion because you broke your own lineage. You can't break your own lineage. You know? Like you walked away because you could say it was depression, whatever, that's fine. But you got stripped of the IBF title. You broke your own lineage. Got stripped of the IBF title because you didn't make your mandatory, right? You were in a situation with the British Board of Boxing Control with the PED test. They were investigating you. So upon the investigation, you were suspended, and you were going to be suspended until the investigation was completed. You got that worked out. All the power to you. But all these issues that you had to deal with was they were through his own fault. So I've been objective here all along. So, you're just defending Fury. Well, when he's right, I say he's right. When he's wrong, I say he's wrong. I mean, I've shown consistency in my criticism, and when I think he's right, I say he's right. So, it is what it is. It is what it is. When he walked away for 3 years, when he failed the PED test, when he was being investigated for PEDs, and throughout that investigation, he was going to be suspended by the British Board of Control. That's fine. And then you could say, well, he could have fought in the U.S. Maybe, maybe not. They may have honored that suspension. They may have looked at that and said, well, we're not going to license him either until he gets that situation worked out. We're going to give him we're going to do a retroactive suspension on him as well because we don't like what we're seeing over there. Put himself in a bad situation. But again, the investigation was completed. His suspension was retroactive. The BBC said that they licensed him again. They squared everything away and did the crime. He paid the time. He's got a clean slate now. Came back. Took the he's part of the WBC clean boxing program. That hasn't failed the PED test since. It is what it is. Till he fails another test. What he did in the past is in the past. Oh, well, we can't just forget about that. We're not forgetting about it. We're not. We know he did it. And the remedy to that is we just keep testing him now. Every time he's in a fight, he's a WBC champion. To be a WBC champion, you have to be part of the WBC clean boxing program. So he's going to be tested. So what are you worried about? Oh, well, he's a cheater. Well, he can't cheat now. Oh, what about the gloves? Well, talk to JD's. He was there. So again, all these criticisms you have about him, there's been a solution to the problem. Oh, he was a cheater in the past. Okay. Well, he's being tested. He's being tested every fight now. He's part of the WBC clean boxing program. Oh, his gloves flopping. Okay. JD's has to inspect the gloves. JD signed off on them. Wilder's representative signed off on those gloves the night of the fight. It's all good in the hood now. So what do you want? So it is what it is. You could say what you want about what he did in the past, but there's fail-safes in place now to ensure that those things that were done in the past can't happen now. Okay? Can't happen now. So that's the thing. But am I going to be mad at Tyson Fury because he wants to be assured that he's going to be that he wants assurances? I mean, this is a large sum of money here. Okay? This isn't something you just do you can just do a handshake deal on, all right? This isn't just something you can take somebody's word on. All right? He is fighting for the legacy, Tyson Fury. Okay? You want to know something? He is fighting for legacy. He's fighting for the legacy of his family. And if you were to ask him, and again, this is just my opinion, I can't speak for him, but in my opinion, if you were to ask him, what's more important, your boxing legacy or the legacy of your family? I'm sure as hell positive that he's going to tell you the legacy of his family is more important. And how does he ensure the legacy of his family? How does he ensure the legacy of his family? By ensuring he has enough money in the bank to give to his kids, and then his kids can give that money to their kids, so on and so forth. Same thing that you would want in your life. Same thing you would want for your family. Again, hold yourself to the same standard you would hold someone else to. That's it. That's it. So yeah, he is fighting for legacy. He's fighting for the legacy of his family to make sure they're all right. And when he's finished with this sport of boxing, those belts on his dressers, or if he hangs them on his wall, or he puts them in a case, those belts aren't going to take care of his family. They're not going to pay his bills. They're not going to make sure that he's healthy the rest of his life. Those things aren't going to take care of him. What's going to take care of him? Making sure he's financially set up for the rest of his life to be able to take care of his family. That's what it's about. So he is fighting for legacy. I repeat one more time. He is fighting for legacy. He's fighting for the legacy of his family. And that's what most fighters do. Family first. He's got a beautiful wife. He's got beautiful children. He's thinking about them because he can't do this for the rest of his life. He can't do this much longer. Probably got 4 more years left, 4 or 5 more years left, tops. And I'm sure at this stage of his career, he's looking to make the most amount of money possible, just like any other fighter in his position would be. So just because someone says, I'm going to pay you a certain amount, doesn't mean you don't have the right to say, well, show me proof that you are. Give me those assurances. Give me the assurances that you are going to pay me what you tell me you're going to pay me. Give me those assurances. Oh, well, we've dealt with, okay, well, if you're able to deal in a fight that size and you have the experience to be dealing in big money fights like that, then I'm sure you can provide me with proof of funds. And if you can't, then I'm walking away. I'm not going to be like the WWE and having to go back and sue you for money that you owe me. I'm not going to deal with the WWE dealing with all this BS with the wrestlers being held hostage there. Okay? I'm not going to deal with all that bullshit. I'm not going to deal with all that bullshit. That's what I'm thinking if I'm Tyson Fury. Show me a letter of credit. Give me proof of funds. Simple as that. There's nothing wrong with that. And if anyone has a problem with him doing that, then I have to question going to have to question your level of intelligence. I'm sorry. I'm just going to have to do it. Going to have to do it. All right. Beaver's out. Talk to y'all soon. Have a great day. Stay safe. Peace out.